The challenge is, even though you're good at it, getting a younger student to do it, or even a regular student, maybe who's got more experience, to be consistent on it. So we talked about yesterday about the whole idea about life skills. Is that back in the day, we used to say when someone trains in martial arts, it develops their character, and where now they're tough, they don't give up, they have perseverance, and they get their black belt. And because they got their black belt, they also got these life skills. It's always been my thought that I don't know if that's really true. I think back in the day when martial arts first started, people coming back from the Korean War and things like that, you had a lot of pretty tough, strong-willed people with good character, taking martial arts and making it to black belt. And then they go, wow, all those belt qualities were developed because of martial arts. And so my challenge is because people had those qualities that they got their black belt. And since now we're teaching martial arts to the majority of our students who are under 12 years old, they really haven't had a long time to develop any type of those life skills. So the turnover is faster. In other words, once they get any type of challenge, they tend to just give up. It's like all of a sudden, okay, I'm done now, and I'm going to go on to something new. So if we really want to say, how do I get a large portion of my students to black belt? Well, we had to build that character. I want that character that those ex-military people have. So, they look forward to challenges. They don't see stumbling blocks as the end of the road. They've got self-confidence. They've got self-esteem. They have that, again, that perseverance. So if we can develop those qualities in our students early, we're more likely to get a large portion to the level of black belt. The level of black belt where now they've got the good skills. They've got the punching, the blocking, the kicking. They develop the power. They have speed, accuracy. We want all those types of things. So I did some research, not just recently, but in the past, starting to think exactly what it takes. And if you start teaching life skills to your students and you're training your staff to teach life skills, it's really important that everyone can identify these things. When I say identify, that they can explain what focus is, what concentration is. Your younger students can explain what it is to have confidence, what it looks like or feels like to have high self-esteem, what courage means. It's not like you're fearless, but you overcome fear by having that internal fortitude. We talk about honesty. The reason honesty is so important is people have to be honest with themselves about their training. Are they putting 100% effort? So it's not only telling the truth, but especially telling the truth to themselves. Are they working as hard as they could be working? We have to teach tenacity. So we're never going to give up no matter what the obstacle. It's really important that we teach students to have a positive self-image and a positive attitude. We have to talk about self-motivation. So it's not just me patting students on the back saying, hey, you're doing a great job, but it's their ability to get motivated and get to class maybe when they don't even feel like that. We have to teach our students to set high goals, but also achievable goals. We have to teach our students that, we learn by failure. I was talking about one of my students, his name was Larry Kelly. This was back in the 80s. He was a top fighter in Region 12. He's one of the top 10 fighters in the United States. When he went to tournaments, he had brought his journal. And after he finished the tournament, win or lose, he would write down in his journal. Especially he liked it when he lost because now he knew he was going to learn things. And he would come back not only what he had to learn, but also a plan to improve that. So I remember one time he went to a tournament. I even know the guy was fighting. This is 30 years ago. He was fighting a guy from Goldberg's Karate. His name was Tony Molino. Tony Molino was a real strong puncher, a little bit out of shape. He beat my student, Larry Kelly. And Larry was a phenomenal kicker at the time. And Larry came back. He goes, okay, I'm going to learn from this. I am going to do 1,000 kicks a day until the next tournament. And every day I would come to my school like 3 o'clock, set up the heavy bag, do 1,000 kicks, 1,000 kicks a day. So they have to tell their students Now, yeah, we did fail. We did lose that tournament. We maybe didn't do the test the way we wanted to. We may have had difficulty doing this form. That was a form of failure, but I didn't fail. I learned something about myself, and now I'm well to improvement. We have to teach our students early on to deal with emotions like anxiety. A lot of kids in their academic schools are afraid to get up and talk to people. And then all of a sudden they get to the martial arts school and you're going to test and go, hey, you've got to do your form all by yourselves. Well, they've got to learn to overcome those emotions, that anxiety. After we teach our staff and ourselves how to identify and explain each one of these things, we have to teach them how these things look so we can look for them. We talk about become a good finder. A good finder is, students trying his hardest, they still doesn't have the form, but we look for something good. We're a good finder. Maybe we want to praise him on his posture and his stance or his focus. So we have to look at them and we have to say, okay, this is what I have to identify. Once I can identify this, then I can build that life skill. And again, these are notes from the essay. So when we build that life skill, we have to identify soon, this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that you're making really, really good eye contact. And that shows me that you have focus and you're really focusing your mind. The reason that is so important, so now I'm going to number 2. I can relate to why this is important. Black belt in training, they learn how to block out distractions. A lot of things are going on in this room. We can look in the mirrors and we can see other people moving around in the background. We know the parents are talking a little and we hear those cars going by, but you're blocking out distractions and you're focusing on the instructor. It's a very important quality of a black belt. If you can do that in here, imagine what you can do out in the real world. When you go to school, if you go to school and the class clown is making noise in the back of the room and you block out that distraction, you focus on the teacher, you're going to learn so much more than the other students. You're going to get such better grades. So these are the steps. After we identify each one of the life skills, these are the steps on how we promote it. This is what I'm seeing. This is why it's important on the journey to black belt. And this is how that life skill is going to help you outside the martial arts school. It could be in your relationships. It could be at school. It could be with your parents. It could be on your homework. But we're showing how this life skill transforms into the real world. And this is really important. It's important for the student. So they don't just think, I'm learning martial arts. I'm learning to be a strong person overall in the martial arts school and at home. It's important for the parents. Every time the parent hears you teach one of these life skills, it's confirming that they made the right decision to get their kids in martial arts. And they're not going to just let them give up. If my kid is learning better focus, better discipline, is feeling about themselves, he's more patient, he's not giving up, I'm not going to give up on him. When he decides he wants to do something else, well, I'm going to talk to the instructor. I'm going to team up with the instructor. And we're going to make sure I keep my son on track. So these are the steps on how we teach a life skill. So that's a review from yesterday. Today I want to talk about the opportunities to teach. Because all of a sudden I said that and go, okay, I'm going to do that. You start a class, you teach a life skill, and then you get caught up in the busy. Correcting forms, correcting self-defense techniques, motivating people, talking to kids who's having a challenge, and all of a sudden you finish the class going, man, that was a great class, but I didn't do the best job I could on the life skills. So I identified 7 areas in a 45-minute class to do a life skill. Number 1 is when the students line up. If you're doing the student creed and says, I'm dedicated, I'm motivated, I'm on a quest to be the best. Oh, when the students line up, if they run to line, go, guys, I'm so proud of you, man. You have that dedication. I mean, you could have chose to do something else today. You could have stayed home, done a video game. You could have just laid on the couch, but you're dedicated. You're dedicated to improving yourselves. And I'm so proud that you made it to the class. So that's why, if you have this dedication, martial arts have to have the same dedication to other things. Maybe one of your things that you like to do is play video games, but be dedicated and get to that next level and get to the level after that. So you're showing how to use martial arts skill of dedication inside the martial arts school and outside the martial arts school. You just may be motivated, guys. When you lined up, I didn't tell you to run up here and start clapping, but you did it, man. You guys are motivated today. I love it. It's that type of motivation that drives you to get to your goals. So, number one, as soon as they line up, throw out a life skill. Then hopefully you're doing some type of student creed. A lot of schools are doing the student creed. I intend to develop myself in a positive manner. And those doing the 3 parts of that student creed. It's been around for 30 years. It's a great student creed. But after you do the student creed and everyone gives their affirmations, talk about one. Now, hey, I tend to develop myself in a positive manner. Hey guys, that's really important. When we talk about a positive manner in the martial arts school, we're talking about our development towards black belt. If you're developing yourself in a positive manner outside the school, it could be better grades. It could be to be more fit, doing more activities and playing outside more. But it's really important, and this is what that's going to lead to. So second time to teach a life skill is after the creed. All of these things are bullets. We're talking 15 seconds, 40 seconds, that's it. I'm not giving a lecture. Martial arts class isn't turning into a therapy session. I'm giving bullets on this is why it's important that you come and this is what you're learning. Next time is during the warm-up. So now we're doing our warm-up. Maybe we're doing our knee lifts. We're doing our jump jacks. We're running in place. We're doing the warm-up. This is your third time to teach some type of life skill. Choose someone and identify something you like. And this is probably going to be something big. It's like the energy. Hey, Jason, I love it, man. You're doing those jumping jacks. You've got so much energy. It's transferring to the rest of the class. It's like contagious. Anytime you do something, you should go all for it. And that energy is so important. If it's energy here or if it's energy when you're on their soccer team and you're hustling to run down the field, that's going to make you a better player. So it's the same thing. But this is I'm just going to pick out someone. I'm not going to stop the whole class or anything. I'm just going to talk about something like energy, concentration, and focus. So what I tried to do is, if you're doing classes in segments, we do the creed, that's a segment, so we're doing a life skill. Next segment is warm-ups. We're doing a life skill just by identifying someone. Now we're doing drills. Now when we're doing drills, we're going to get something smaller, something like attention to detail. And I'm going to highlight a section. So if I've got 5 lines of people, well, I'm going to maybe pick out the back 2 lines, the front 2 lines, this half the room, and I'm going to highlight a section. Guys, everyone's working really, really hard, but I got to tell you, this group on this side, when we're doing the front kicks, I love the chamber. You're really taking pride in what you're doing. So I'm highlighting a section. I'm doing those same things. This is what I'm seeing. Good attention to detail. Why that attention to detail is important for the black belts in training. How attention to detail could be at home when you're cleaning your room. You're making sure your room's totally clean, totally put away, because as martial arts, we take pride in everything we do. You finish your drills, self-defense. Self-defense is really important. Kids have been going now for probably 20, 25 minutes. They're getting a little, hopefully getting a little bit sweaty. They're huffing and puffing, losing their breath a little. I like to spotlight someone. Spotlight means I'm going to have everyone take a knee, everyone sit down. I'm going to have one student come up and do a demonstration. So I found someone doing something really, really good, and I'm going to spotlight him. So everyone's going to take a knee. I have one person come up, and I say, the reason I brought you up is because of your intensity. I'm looking at you. You're doing this technique by yourself. It looks like you're in a real fight or something. You're so intense. Can you demonstrate that? So now the person does that intensity, and I'm going to do the same thing. What I just saw, intensity. Why that's important to be black belt. When we're going to black belt, it's just not doing the moves, but it's doing the moves as our life may depend on it, because someday it may. So I love this student coming up here. We're practicing with so much intensity. And then go on and tie that into either home, other sports, or school. So again, halfway through the day, we can take a little break. Everyone sits down. Now they're getting a lesson. They're seeing the technique performed the way I want it to see. I'm showing the students exactly what the student is doing that I really liked, and then I'm tying in the life skill. Now we're going into forms. So everyone's doing forms. When I do forms, I like to do a group correction or a group compliment. So it could be, guys, we've been doing these horse dances for a long time. Whose legs are getting sore? And no one raised their hand. Okay, come on, guys, whose legs are getting sore? So some of the kids raise their hand. Okay, your legs are getting sore. Who wants to give up? Who would like to give up? No one's going to raise their hand, guys. Be truthful. Would you like to give up? There's a difference between liking to give up and not giving up. So it's all right to want to give up, but if you're a black belt in training, the whole idea is to not give up, because by not giving up, we're going to get better and better and better. So this is a group correction or group compliment. So I'm talking about, okay, now the compliment is I saw them never giving up. I do that in steps. I talk about, do you want to give up? They go, no. I go, yes, you do. They finally agree with me. I said, that's okay, but being a martial arts black belt in training, we don't give up. That's part of our pride. Just not giving up. That's how we get good. Just like when you get that spelling words for school, and all of a sudden you're trying to do that, and all of a sudden, yeah, this one's a little bit tough. Well, it could be a little tough. You may want to give up from memorizing it. Was that what you do? Well, if you want to get a low grade, you do that. But if you really want to set your goals and get in high grades, you don't give up. You keep working on that. So that would be how to teach a life skill as a group correction or a compliment. Again, during forms, everyone in class is moving together. So it's a good time to give the lesson to everyone in class. The last part of class, I like to do what we call the high energy finish. This is 3 to 5 minutes where we're just, don't take this word wrong, we're playing karate. When I say playing karate, we're kicking, punching, hitting pads. I'm not making a lot of corrections. I'm letting the students enjoy themselves. I think martial arts is one of the very few sports that you always train, you always practice, but very little do you play. Like with baseball, you do the drills, you practice hitting, you practice catching, and then you actually play the game. Well, my high energy finish is a time for me to punch, kick, compete with the other kids, have a lot of fun, the music blasting. 3 to 5 minutes, I'm just enjoying what I'm doing. No one's correcting me. For one part of the class, no corrections. I feel really good about myself. That's my high energy finish. So since you want everyone leaving, do a group praise. Praise anything. Praise their attitude. Praise their energy. Praise their teamwork. You guys are doing pad kicking. You're holding your pads. You're cheering for each other on. I love that type of team effort. There's only so much we can do by ourselves. Sometimes we get part of a team. Let me just give you an example. In the school right now, everyone's got teamwork. We're all helping each other. When you go to school and all of a sudden you have a problem, you can team up. You can team up with another student. You can team up with your teacher. By teaming up, you're getting that type of help. You may have a problem at home, and talk to your parents about that. If you have an older brother or sister, talk to them. Team up for better results. And our last time is the mat chat. A few guys are BBE followers for Black Belt Excellence. I do the recordings of the mat chat. You have that. Mat chat's really important. Everyone's gathering around. You're talking to students. You're talking to the parents. You're giving them a little life lesson. So when you think about a class, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, actually 8 times that you have an opportunity to teach a life skill. If you get good at it and you can do it in 30 seconds, that's only 4 minutes of class that's done by life skills. So it's not like the only thing you're doing is talking. Again, these are bullets. These are times to teach kids about how martial arts relates to life. This is your time to give them that mental fortitude that you're going to need to make it to black belt. Again, if you go back and you want to listen to yesterday's, I think this section of your essays is really important. Being able to identify these words. And I put all these on the Rainmaker Business Solution website yesterday as a PDF file. If I was sitting around and I was training my staff and all of a sudden I said, okay, what is high self-esteem? And someone goes, well, I really don't know how to explain it. Well, everyone get out their cell phones, Google high self-esteem, and talk about it for a while. Go around the room and talk about it. I'm sure someone's going to come up now. Okay, I got it now. I can explain it. But when you have a 17, 18-year-old kid, it's really important that he does this. And he doesn't have to memorize a definition for the dictionary. It's better off if he can remember sometime in his life when he needed it, sometime in his life when he needed some courage, why it's important to feel proud of yourself. Once they can do that, the life skills become easy because then it's just relating it to something besides martial arts. I know we have a lot of people on today, and I think that's great. Do we have any comments, concerns, things that you want to add?
I like to just say something always. This is kind of a really awesome way to teach it. I didn't think of 7 multiple ways to teach the life skills. You just interject when you feel the need, but this is a lot more structured in a good way. And I think that's what separates us from all the other activities. It's all this life skills, this character development, because at the end of the day, how many times are we really going to use martial arts to defend ourselves? Like a lot of times parents come in, I just want to teach my kids to defend themselves. And literally that really hardly ever happens. And, and I think what we use every day is all these life skills, the discipline, the confidence, the grit to get through the day-to-day life challenges. And I think that's like 95% of what we do.
Yeah.
So
but they're also
amazing.
They're all the same qualities you need to get a black belt.
Exactly.
So the same things you need to get a physical black belt are the same things you need to get that mental black belt and black belt lifestyle. So all works hand in hand. Love it. Someone sent a message, want to know the Rainmaker on Facebook. There's a page called Rainmaker Business Solutions. You can request to become a member on that page, or if you just want to email me your email address, I'll make sure you get it. My email address is greg@gregsilva.com, and I'll make sure you gain access to that page. I will make a recording of this, and I will put up the PDF file of this section I did today on Rainmaker within the next hour or so. So I appreciate that, and tomorrow I'll be on with William Pierce. We start at 12. Not quite sure what the subject is. I'll be talking to William tonight, and we'll come up with something great, I'm sure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.